Make we take check for the light.
Oh no.
Anti-wise. I did see economize.
Oh no.
On a mission.
Nisha.
How many men go party? Could you believe it? Elevators. I'm on. Move like a speed race. So fast. Could you believe it? Dropped out of school from the first day. My teacher took their money. And my class of us they call me. That's not my church. I was balling on the Sunday. Open the back on the Sunday. My love, for God's sake. Show you know this team money working.
Oh no.
I'm better they play. Two Lamborghini. They dropped off the Rolls Royce. They play. Soon I go wake up in the new Bugatti. They play. Hit the bitches. I'm on. Move like a speed race. So fast, they couldn't believe it. Elevators. I'm on. Move like a speed race. So fast, couldn't believe it. Too many miners. Man, if I sleep like 9 days. So they vibrate. And they find me. If not find me, she's fly me. Jalo, Jade. Lọ́dọ̀ láì ṣàdé. Alájí bá ṣírú kó wọlé. Straight from my chipalago, right? Check him out. Come on, these days, they just they take the trap like joke, but then the trap like man. Ikele bitches, come on, move like a speed race. So far, they couldn't believe it. Ikele bitches, come on, move like a speed race. So fast, they couldn't believe it.
Yes, everyone please like, subscribe, and share, right? Thank you.
Ohaneze FM, 24 hours of informative, educative, and entertainment programs. Can't stop, won't stop. On Ohaneze 103.5. Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Ohaneze 103.5 FM with Martin Ifeanyi Chukwu every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ohaneze 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a date. All day, every day. Who's bad? Hit it! Ohaneze 103.5 FM.
My name is Chief Dr. Sir Bob Manuel Udoku Zana Bakrino Gidi. Join Martins on Political Views on Mondays 3 p.m., Saturdays 10 a.m. on Ohaneze 103.5 FM Ogidi.
In Imo State, as the governorship election draws near, November governorship election, APC inaugurates National Campaign Council. Good afternoon and welcome to Political Views on Ebona at 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifan Shuku, AKC. Remember that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu arrived in New York today ahead of United Nations General Assembly. And some presidential appointment as well is getting obedience to question some of the things that is happening right now. Chetima appoints Hakim, brother of Obi's running mate, Dati, as special advisor. At the same time, we are also going to venture into the issue of 2023 Igbo Day. Ohaneze Igbo is talking about it, and this and more will be the cause of our discussion on this particular edition of Political Views on Ebona Day 103.5 FM. Without further ado, a lot is going on in our political space. So let's dive in. The headlines. Shetima appoints Hakim, brother of Obi's running mate, Dati, as special advisor. 2023 Igbo Day is sacrosanct, says Ohaneze. CJN tax judges justice on legal issues in telecom industry. Swan urges Soludo to develop Oka Township Stadium to Olympic. Police neutralize 3 IPOB ESN hoodlums, recover firearms. Abia PDP slams Oti, demands apology for clashing. Planned indefinite strike. Again, federal government invites NLC. Beneficiaries complain as CBN moves to recover COVID-19 loans. Why a bag of 50 kg rice costs 47,000 naira in Kanu. Enugu embarks on reforms to de-risk investments. Osun Governor Adeleke suspects sabotage after escaping a plane crash. Now, Chetima appoints Hakim, brother of Obi's running mate, Dati, as special advisor. The spokesperson of the Northern Elders Forum, NEF, Hakim Baba Ahmed, has been appointed as the special advisor on political issues to Vice President Kashim Chetima. Baba Ahmed is the elder brother of Dati Baba Ahmed, the running mate of the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi in the February 25th election. Baba Ahmed will disclose his new appointment in a post on his X handle on Monday, said he is honored to be given the chance to help contribute to building the country. It is time to make it public that I have accepted the call to serve as special advisor political to the vice president, Hakim said. This is not the time for fence sitting or criticisms when you can be useful in turning the country round. I am honored and humbled. Please pray for me and Nigeria. Baba Ahmed was a former chief of staff to Bukola Saraki, former Senate president from 2017 to 2019. As we proceed, remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-9666-1035. The next story we have for you this afternoon, 2023 Igbo Day is sacrosanct, says Ohaneze. The Apes Igbo Social-Cultural Group Ohaneze Igbo Worldwide has said the 2023 Igbo Day, scheduled to hold on September 28th and 29th, was sacrosanct. The group also said that there was no conflict or clash between 2023 Igbo Day and Southeast Summit on Security and Economy, scheduled to hold on same dates at the Enugu and Owerri, Imo State. Chief Emmanuel Iwanyanwu, the President General of Ohaneze Igbo Worldwide, stated this in a statement issued by the group's National Publicity Secretary, Dr. Alex Obunia, on Monday in Enugu. According to Iwanyanwu, the two events will hold concurrently in Enugu and Owerri for the benefit of the people of the region. He said, our attention has been drawn to some misinformation capable of generating confusion regarding the concurrent hosting of the 2023 Igbo Day and the Southeast Summit on Security and Economy. It has therefore become necessary to make some clarification for the avoidance of doubt. The President General added that on September 28th and 29th, Igbo and the people of Southeast Geopolitical Zone would host two very important events in Owerri and Enugu concurrently, adding that both events were very dear to them. That is why we have decided to host both events concurrently to ensure massive attendance by our people. Accordingly, by the programs for both events have been structured to accommodate the schedules for our governors and our eminent sons and daughters who are traveling from far and near to attend the event, he said. He stressed that on 28th, they would be in Owerri for the first day of the summit, which starts by 10 o'clock a.m. and by 4 p.m. the same day. The first program of Igbo Day 2023, a public lecture, would be held at the Old Governor's Lodge in Enugu. Iwanyanwu explained that the summit would continue in Owerri on Friday, the 29th, with the breakaway sessions on security and economy and related issues by only invited stakeholders, professionals, technocrats, and experts. The Igbo leader hinted that on the same 29th, the grand finale of the 2023 Igbo Day will continue in Enugu for all other Igbo sons and daughters. It is to be noted that the date, 29th of September, is of historic significance to Igbo and is sacrosanct for Igbo Day celebration. The governor of the Southeast, who are the host of both events, are working hand in hand with the leadership of Ohaneze Igbo Worldwide for the success of both events. We are in full agreement and concord to host both events concurrently and not on two different dates to ensure massive attendance by our people, Iwanyanwu said. And still on the happenings on our political space this afternoon, Chief Justice of Nigeria attacks justices on legal issues in telecom industry. The Chief Judge of the Federation, Justice Olukayode Aruola, on Monday, charged judges and justices to be abreast with the current issues in the telecom industry to ensure fair adjudication. The Chief Judge spoke during the 2023 National Workshop for Judges and Justices on Telecom Issues organized by the Nigerian Communication Commission in collaboration with the National Judicial Institute held in Kano. He said that the workshop is very timely, especially with the advancement of the telecom industry. Aliwala said that the event would serve as an avenue where challenges affecting the communication sector would be deliberated and modalities of addressing the challenges would be fine-tuned. He said that the workshop team that the abjudication part in a digital era would play a vital role in building the capacity of justices with a view to achieve the desired goals. In his remark, the Executive Vice Chairman of NCC, Professor Umar Dambata, said the workshop was aimed at ensuring fair adjudication on issues related to communications. The next story we have for you this afternoon: Soludo to develop Oka Township Stadium to Olympic size. The Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, Anambra chapter, has called on Governor Chukwuma Soludo to develop the Oka Township Stadium to an Olympic size and make it the center for sports in the Southeast. SWAN, which made the call in a communique issued after its September meeting, commended Soludo for the increased activity in the sports sector and consistency of the state at national competitions in the last 1 year. The communique issued in Oka on Sunday was co-signed by Anthony Oji and Chimezie Anaso, chairman and secretary, respectively, of the body of sports writers in Anambra. Swan advised that the Park A section of the Oka Township Stadium should not be used as a car park for fun seekers at the proposed Solution Fund City. The association said the park should be used to construct a games village consisting of a hotel, indoor sports hall, and training pitches. This, he said, would help the arena retain the semblance of a sports stadium and also continue to enjoy the approval already obtained for staging top-class football matches. According to the communique, Anambra State has recorded a remarkable spike in the level of sports activities in the last 1 year. Swan expresses concern over inadequate government-owned sports facilities in Anambra and therefore called on Governor Chukwuma Soludo to recognize his plans to convert part of the Oka Township Stadium to an amusement park. The Oka Township Stadium can actually be developed into an Olympic-sized sports arena and be used as a center of sports excellence in the Southeast. Swan rejects the plan to use part of Park A of the Oka Township Stadium for a car park for fun seekers at the proposed amusement park. The next story we have for you this afternoon: the police command in Enugu State has neutralized 3 indigenous people of Biafra Eastern Security Network hoodlums in their hideouts within Ezioha, Mbo in Ogu, local government area in Enugu State. Police operatives also recovered 3 pump-action guns, 10 machetes, and other incriminating exhibits. The command's spokesperson, DSP Daniel Ndukwe, in a statement on Monday in Enugu, said the criminals were busted at about 2:15 a.m. on Monday. A joint security team comprising police operatives of the Enugu State Command, MPF Special Squad, and MPF Special Forces and troops of the 82 Division of Nigerian Army Enugu, acting on credible intelligence, busted the hideout of IPOB and ESN subversive criminal elements. The criminal elements were already perfecting plans to enforce the illegal sit-at-home order in elements. The criminal elements were already perfecting plans to enforce the illegal sit-at-home order in the state. 3 of the hoodlums who opened fire on the joint team upon sighting them were neutralized, while several others escaped with several degrees of gunshot wounds in the ensuing gunfight. There has been an intense manhunt for those on the run, Ndukwe said. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Kanayo Uzebu, while commending the joint team, reassured of the security and safety of citizens and urged them to go about their lawful businesses in the state. The commissioner reiterated the avowed commitment of the police and other security forces to sustain the onslaught against unrepentant, violent criminals operating under any guise. He therefore enjoined all and sundry to report individuals cited with gunshot wounds to the nearest police station. The good people of Enugu State should remain law-abiding and continue to provide the police with actionable security information and intelligence. And still on the happenings in our political space this afternoon, Abia PDP slams Governor Oti, demands apology for clashing with Anglican Church. The Abia State chapter of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has described as improper, unwarranted, and unacceptable what it described as an attack by the state governor on the leadership of the Anglican Church of Aba Diocese. The opposition party was reacting to LX Oti administration's response to the church advice contained in a communique issued after its 17th synod, which advised it to fix the economic roads in Aba and desist from sacking civil servants employed in the state civil service. The Aba Diocese of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion waded into the contentious sacking of workers by the Abia State governor and urged Governor Oti to reverse the policy. Thousands of workers, comprising those employed at the end of the PDP-led past administration of Governor Ohaneze Ibazo and those considered to be drawing salary as ghost workers, were cleaned out from the government payroll. But the church, arising from the third session of its 17th synod, said the sacking of civil servants worsens the hardship in the society and fuels all vices associated with unemployment. The church, in the communique signed by the Bishop of Aba Diocese, Reverend Christian Uguzo, and the Clerical Synod Secretary, Venerable Innocent Ubunna, made it clear that it was not in support of the last-minute mass employment carried out by the Bazo administration, but noted that sacking workers would not right the wrong already done. He therefore cancelled Oti to retrace his steps and allow the affected workers to keep their jobs. The Abia State government, however, alleged that one of the signatories to the communique was executing a personal vendetta against Oti for not excluding the priest's daughter from the names of civil servants that were recently disengaged, adding that the priest had before the synod also brought two other proposals to the governor, which were all turned down. The state government nevertheless added that OT-led administration would still create genuine employment opportunities for Abia residents in future after cleaning up the state civil service, insisting that no genuinely employed worker was sacked by The Abia PDP has, however, taken a different stance and called on the OT-led government to tender public apology to the synod and congregation of the Anglican Diocese of Aba for calling to question the integrity of their bishops. In a statement signed by the PDP Vice Chairman, Acting State Publicity Secretary, Honorable Elder Abraham Ama, the party said the response of the Labour Party government is an insult to the church. Planned indefinite strike again. Federal government invites NLC. The federal government has again invited the Nigerian Labour Congress for another meeting over its planned indefinite strike. This is contained in a statement issued by Mr. Simon Lalong, the Minister of Labour and Employment. The news agency of Nigeria reports that Lalong had on September 4th invited the NLC and the Trade Union Congress for a meeting to avert the earlier two-day nationwide warning strike. National newsmen also report that only the TUC showed up for the meeting. Lalong said that he had directed the Department of Trade Union Services and Industrial Relations to convene the meeting with the leadership of the NLC on Monday. He said it was important for the unions to sit down with the government to resolve all pending matters to avoid further disruption to the economy. The administration of President Bola Tinubu will always engage organized labor and respond to its concerns after due consultation and negotiations. This is in order to guarantee industrial harmony, which is critical to the attainment of the renewed hope agenda, Lalong said. Also, on September 1st, the NLC National Executive Council threatened in a communique to embark on an indefinite strike within 21 days of the issuance of the communique. Newsman reports that among other demands, the NLC and the TUC are asking for wage awards, implementation of palliatives, tax exemptions and allowances to the public sector workers, and a review of the minimum wage. Though the federal government made a commitment to restructure the framework for engagement with organized labor on palliatives, the 8-week time frame set for the conclusion of the process expired in August with no action whatsoever. The committees were given 8 weeks to conclude their assignment and hasten the implementation of framework to cushion the effect of petrol subsidy removal on Nigerians. But weeks after the time frame expired, the subcommittee had yet to meet or actualize their mandate. President Tinubu had since June 19 set up the Presidential Steering Committee and the various subcommittees to discuss the framework to be adopted on the palliatives. The subcommittee had been created to implement federal government's palliative package in areas such as cash transfers, the social investment program, the cost of governance, energy, mass transit, and housing. This was a fallout of the president's closed-door session with the leadership of the NLC and the TUC during a nationwide protest by the organized labor. The next story we have for you this afternoon: beneficiaries complain as CBN moves to recover COVID-19 loans. Central Bank of Nigeria is set to recover loans it granted some Nigerians to ameliorate harsh socio-economic realities. Newsman reports that the loan initiative involved is the targeted credit facilities granted in 2020 to cushion the economic effects of COVID-19. Some beneficiaries, however, expressed concern about the manner of recovery. A beneficiary, Fatima Ali, said the sudden move to recover her 500,000 naira loan has worsened her financial challenges. I got a loan of 500,000 in 2020 to cushion the economic effect of COVID-19, but at the time, we were assured we would not be required to repay the money. Recently, all the money in my bank accounts was removed by the CBN as part of the loan recovery drive, she said. Another beneficiary, Abbas Sule, also complained about arbitrary loan deductions from his bank account. He said, when I was granted the loan facility in 2020, the bank official that processed the release through NIRSAL Microfinance Bank got a commission of 50,000 naira and I was paid 450,000 naira. Now they want me to pay 500,000 naira. That 15, the ABP was designed by the CBN to provide farm input in kind and cash to smallholder farmers. The aim was to boost production of food commodities, stabilize input supply to agro processors, and address the country's negative balance of payments on food. By 2022, the Apex Bank revealed that at least 4.8 million farmers had benefited from the program, but the program has been marred by loan default. Even as food prices rose significantly within the year, it by beneficiaries in increasing production due to difficulty in reaching the targeted farmers. He said that although the CBN allowed farmers to pay in cash or give the central bank produce of the same value under the ABP, repayments had been very low. The next Enugu state government has said it will embark on a massive review of the state laws and enactment of new ones where necessary as part of efforts to make the state the preferred destination for investment. The state government also said it will prioritize the establishment of integrated smart schools in the 260 wards of the state to transform the education sector from mere social service delivery institutions to skill acquisition institutions. The State's Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Kingsley Ude, accompanied by the Commissioner for Education, Professor Ndubueze Mba, announced this to journalists at the end of the State Executive Council meeting at the weekend. Ude said Enugu State is set to be the choice destination for both foreign and local investments to ensure that this is projected and done bullishly. The state government is working on reviewing various laws that deal with investment, trade, and industry. The Enugu State Electricity Law 2023, which came into being today, will open the Enugu electricity market to both foreign and local investors in the energy industry to boost power generation, transmission, and distribution. This will, in turn, support our industry, business activities, and boost our economy. We are calling on investors to take advantage of the opportunities arising from this law, but we are also keen on law reviews and justice administration with the understanding that the justice system is actually one of the key indicators as far as investment and business are concerned. We are aware that investors will always look for where the judicial system is strong enough. They want to be sure that if a dispute arises from business to business or business with the government, they will get quick dispensation of justice, and that justice, when given in the form of judgment, will be obeyed and enforced. This is what the government is working on. The administration is also digitizing the judiciary from filing of cases up to dispense with could now be concluded in a matter of a year or less. On his part, Commissioner for Education said that at least 10 of the integrated and smart schools earmarked for each of the electoral wards in the country would now be completed before the end of the 2023, adding that the first of such schools was nearing completion. Why bag of 50 kg rice cost 47,000 naira in Kano? ₦50,000 in Kano State. A market survey conducted by newsmen at the weekend indicated 50 kg of parboiled rice sold for between 45,000 naira and 47,000. The stable food will go for in other parts of the country, especially places that mainly depend on northern parts of the country for supply. Newsmen learned that millers now source their paddy from neighboring Chad, Cameroon, and the Central African Republic to meet rising demand. Yet there are concerns that the situation may worsen as those that could not afford to source their commodity from outside the country have begun to cut another critical stakeholders in the rice value chain, mindful of the consequential implication of the situation to food security. Incidentally, the inability of farmers to ensure that Nigeria produces sufficiently to cover her local consumption to export. And the last story we have for you this afternoon, before you can call in and tell us what you think of all of this, is Osun Governor Adeleke suspects sabotage after escaping airplane incident. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke escaped a plane incident. His spokesperson, Olawale Rashid, confirmed yesterday, alleging sabotage. Rashid revealed there was strong indications that both engines of the aircraft were tampered with before boarding. Reports had it that Adeleke and some of his aides on September 5, 2023, escaped an air crash. It was takeoff point at Murtala Muhammed International Airport, Lagos. Rashid said the highly technically equipped aircraft was well maintained with the best technical crew and was never an unused platform where birds could build nests, contrary to the claim by the hangar owner that birds' nests caused the incident. Build nests, contrary to the claim by the hangar owner that birds' nests caused the incident. Bird nests are made with straws, not wires, as in this case. According to him, the near fatal incident was averted shortly after boarding and less than 2 minutes after commencement of attack on the tarmac. An early warning noise from the engines immediately prompted the pilot to direct evacuation of the passengers. Everything happened within 5 minutes. Early reports from internal investigation indicated sabotage, but the authorities no injury or any outward explosion on the plane. And there you have it. This issue of Igbo Day, is one that Ohaneze wants Igbos to understand. And, most Nigerians are also asking questions about, the... At the same time, Obedience are now confused about the fact that Chetima appoints Hakim, brother of Obi's running mate, Dati, as special advisor. We have a lot to talk about on this particular edition of Political Views on Ebon at 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation. Send your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 0. Now, let's hear from you what you have to say about all of this. The numbers you call and then you become part of the conversation remain 070-359-2210. Let's hear from you now. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon. Welcome. Yes.
Yeah.
Your name and location. Biko Gabani Rusa. Oh.
Yeah. Eventually, Chetima was the problem. And the man, you bet you don't wear one of them before. And then Kaga. Ohaneze Igbo. Now, the fund of whereby you want to do to go to there. Every time,
Yeah, man, you know, could I get you? I know you. Okay.
And 32 policemen. And I have found that today can I go ever to the one can ever know Nigeria police, London, I'm in the security agent. That way, why not buy you can
now we need to hear from you. Let's hear from you. What do you have to say about all that is going on in our political space this afternoon? Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Welcome, my brother. Keke man.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, welcome.
I'm from the Buddha in Nima.
Biko Gabani Ru. Okay.
It was on Nigeria. One out on Yavaha. One out in the Korea road.
Okay.
It was on Nigeria. One out on Yavaha. And I think about you do not have that. And they have a wife who wants to 11 points. Have a no feature about on the young. And upon what it is your professional. Or we put your question.
Now, I call on your chulu employee of man and your chulu like in the Bugatti goose of the non deocho at the end of the day. And yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay, welcome, sir. It's on you reach out today, right?
I'm a foundation of Nigeria. After Bobo Igbo. But I mean, I'm not on Nigeria. So that them are then no better out back to the I was found back over and out. Yes, can you do it? Then the question on this is when I fight for Hana. Well, party. Organize them be bright, they didn't die. I got them to see I'm a potato, but I'm not going to happen down. All school up and down. Organize them be bright, then organize a different people. I realize that Igbo nwere ike kpọrọ onwe ha nwetago onwe ha na na
Mana most times Ohaneze na-discuss ihe gbasara ndị Igbo and you know na pioneer ihe dị ya.
My brother, I want to
We need to hear from you. What do you have to say about all of this? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, my brother. Welcome. Yeah, welcome. You're my alpha. Okay, Gabaniru.
If we go down area, if you're not going to take it on Igbo, it happens when the Buddha is the Bono, the Bonya Gino, the Chia, you go better where the woman is a problem. Get it going, you go to a problem. Compare the way you go to web project, I think you have to see it, and you go my problem. Get it going, you go to a problem. Compare the way you go to web project, I think you have to see it, and you go my problem. Get it going, you go to a problem.